My name is Ed Pettitt. I am a graduate research assistant with the Bullard Center for Environmental and Climate Justice at Texas Southern University, and I'm the founder and president of Friends of Columbia TAP. I grew up in a rural environment. I spent my weekends and summers playing in a creek in our backwoods and picking up trash that would flow into the creek, and just always loved being out in nature. That's really where I felt most alive, most in tune with the earth. And so I've always had an ethic of environmental awareness throughout my life. And when I settled in Houston in 2011 to do my master's coursework in public health, I started to see the intersection between the environment, public health, but then also racial and socioeconomic disparities and the history of redlining and how it impacted the community where I'm living, called Third Ward, and started looking at the socioeconomic determinants of health, and that led me to go back to school for a doctorate in urban planning and environmental policy, and that's how I ended up at TSU. In Houston, we are struggling with things at multiple levels. We're struggling with systematic barriers to environmental justice and climate issues at the local level with our city government. We're dealing with it at the state level, and we're also dealing with pressures at the federal level and changes to how we're working with and being supported by federal entities. So it's a really challenging time right now. I think specifically for the broader Houston region, we're looking at the expansion of the petrochemical industry, especially LNG. And so recently the Bullard Center conducted a study looking at the cumulative impacts of LNG expansion in the Gulf region. And we have published those as a report called Liquefying the Gulf Coast. And what we found is that the Federal Energy Committee, FERC, that's kind of overseeing these permits for the LNG facilities, they're not conducting the proper evaluations. And so we conducted our own evaluations, and we're working with grassroots organizations to follow up to do community-based monitoring, including air quality monitoring, making sure that they're engaged in the political processes involved with these plant expansions. And so that's really where one of our focus areas is now. Definitely, we've supported our grassroots partners in slowing down and stopping some of these plant expansions and developments. But I think broader than that, one of our wins is that we're only a couple years old as the Bullard Center, even though our founder, Dr. Robert Bullard, and his colleagues and our other professors on the staff have been doing this work for decades. But as a center, I think one of our wins is that we've really done a lot of work to partner and to support through technical expertise, the grassroots organizations doing this work on the front lines. And we've been able to bring them together and also to help support them. So we have an EPA grant makers grant that we're calling Team Up. And we just took in the first round of applications to support grassroots organizations in doing this environmental justice work. And hopefully those will be announced in the next couple months. And fortunately, that grant, as well as our Solar for All grant, which is supporting community solar and renewable energy in communities of color and working with HBCUs, historically Black colleges, universities, and other minority serving institutions, those grants are still going. They haven't been frozen. And so we're pushing forward with this work and hoping to help our grassroots partners amplify what they're already doing. If you're just starting out in this environmental justice work as an organizer, definitely do what you can to network and meet other organizers. We have started a group in Third Ward where we meet every Friday for a community coffee chat. So every Friday at 10 a.m., we meet at the El Dorado Ballroom, and we talk about organizing different issues, environmental issues, housing, climate, energy, transportation, health, education. And it's just a casual environment to meet fellow organizers, fellow community members, and work together on finding solutions. So get out there and partner, network with people, and let's support each other. We're more powerful together.